are listening to Bearcat Insider with everybody's favorite assistant coach, Travis Marsh, and I'm Chance Kirby. Now to the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the CS Designs postgame show, Bells Edition. Chance, how are you, buddy?
I've been better. I don't think it comes as any shock to anyone out there listening that winning podcasts are a whole lot more fun.
They are more fun.
But we're not the Auburn social media department. We acknowledge losses.
It's part of it.
Yes.
It's
sadly we got beat worse than Auburn did.
It's half of the results that can happen.
Yeah, and in this case, it's 75% of the season.
Yes.
Sadly.
So, 56-19 Bells Panthers over the Pilot Point Bearcats. I'm Coach Marsh, you're listening to Coach Marsh here with Chance Kirby. And we're going to discuss Bells, and I get that I'm in for a long podcast based off the demeanor of Mr. Kirby here in the room. He does not seem very amicable today.
It just bothers me when we lose. I don't know why. It's really dumb, to be honest with you.
It's not dumb.
Us losing shouldn't affect me this way. It has nothing to do with that I have a kid on the team. I feel this way. Always felt that way.
We're on a 3-game slide.
Yeah.
Okay. I would think you'd have to go back to
2017.
2000. I was about to say 2017 was 2016. 2017 was going to be my guess. I don't know that we've had back-to-backs. Did we have back-to-backs last year? Early
yes,
in
we
Gunner.
Did. Yeah. No, last year we had...
Not early, decab
and
Gunner back-to-back.
That was a rough 2 weeks, too.
Well, one of them, I'm not going to say we expected to lose to Gunner, but it's at least more of a result that you're used to, and then you have the heartbreak of the decab game. Those two back-to-back were rough. Other than that...
17, though, it was a different expectation for me. I can't speak for... I claim to be the voice of the people, but I don't know what the people think on that. But the expectation was it was a turnaround. You were building on what was
transitioning
before.
To a new head coach.
No, but we were transitioning to a new head coach. This feels like the same.
Yeah.
It was just this is the same program. There shouldn't be a drop off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Because you think about all of the coach speak that can come out, and the coach speak it's half a truth and it's half of a propaganda job. You're saying a lot with saying nothing.
You're the master at that.
To drop the first cliche of the show is pre-district's over. Now we're into games that matter. Okay,
true. We can still make the playoffs, and still win state.
That is cliche. Yeah. It is, but it's also the truth. If for any reason we got all of our ducks in a row and we go on a 12-game win streak, we're still the state champs, even though we started 1-3. But you have to circle the wagons, and as coaches, you have to identify the problem areas and address them. So I think that's where you come in with all of your problems.
Yeah, well, and that's what's frustrating with me, and I don't know if you feel the same way. We're swerving all over the road, and I would like to see some consistency of any kind. And I don't even know where to begin. We win at Callisburg, Plainview. I thought we played excellent with what we were presented with.
Plainview, you have to consider it an outlier.
That's what I'm saying. Then I hope we take that excitement and try and all of that, and then Farmersville doesn't work out. And then this week we run into the buzzsaw that is Bells. And I know this isn't the Bells Panthers post-game show. They're good. And let me tell you why I think they're good, and you can tell me where I'm wrong. If I'm wrong at all. We talk about the Plainview game and how, man, we lost our quarterback so we couldn't pass. We ran 36 rushes in that game. We had one running back run 31. Bells completely took away our passing game. We threw for 109 yards, but you take away a 34-yard pass, and you're about to tell me I can't do that we broke their coverage and was a great catch by Wrangle. But you take that off, we threw for 70 yards. With the exception of Wrangle's, I think we only threw one other deep ball, which means they took that away from us. So we were forced to be a one-dimensional team, which Gage did a fantastic job, and we'll get into stats. I mean, he ran tough. We were forced to be a one-dimensional team. We couldn't throw deep. They completely covered us up. And then we don't even get into their offense. Their offense, that's crazy to me when you say, you know what, we only have 3 plays and we're going to keep running them until you stop them.
Well, I think, and again, you said this in the Bills-Panthers postgame show. I coached with Coach West, who's their head coach when he was the head coach at Collinsville in 2017. Have coached in this offense.
Gunner better take notice is basically what my point was.
He's very good at what he does. He's very good at running his scheme. You don't have to agree with the scheme, but you have to look at it and say that that's effective.
If the goal is to win, then he's accomplishing whatever his goal is. It's
not quote unquote sexy. You're not going to look at it and be like, man, that is just that is enticing.
Yeah.
But if that's your personality and that's what you want to do, I mean, he is great at it. And it's very interesting because I was in the box for Coach West, and my job was to identify who made the tackle. And then whenever you identify who makes the tackle, that affects his next play call. It might not be the next play call. It might be 3 plays later. But it's all based off of, if this kid is doing that, then this is what I can do to take advantage of him.
So it's a reactionary offense, and he's about 3 steps ahead.
Yeah, and so you look at what's called packaged plays or complementary plays, to where it's multiple plays that kind of have the same action. And that's what it's based off of is, you have 3 plays that they run that they all kind of look the same, but you don't know if they're going to hand it to the fullback or they hand it to the running back or they hand it to the wing back or the slot back that's coming back around, because all 3 things happen often.
It was impressive taking
and
pictures. I couldn't even figure out who had the ball to take pictures of who was making the tackle.
They do well. And he has that team bought into it. They're bought into that scheme. You don't see very much selfishness over there. I think they just want to win. And so hats off to the Bills-Panthers. I think they...
If those guys would have been wearing blue jerseys, you couldn't have convinced me that it wasn't Gunner. I'm not knocking our team. I'm just impressed with how good that team really was.
Yeah, no, they were good. And then, you look at us and you're wanting consistency. Consistency is a product of maturity. It's a product of accountability. It's a product of repetition. The accountability piece is there. I hear it every day on the practice field. They are being held accountable for when they don't do their job. They are told, hey, that's not, what you're doing. I don't think with quite as colorful language as what they think is on Idle Chatter. But they're redirected. They're held.
Y'all don't yell at the varsity. You only yell at the JV.
That's it.
Yeah.
I yell at number 8 on the white practice jerseys often. But that's also my son.
Yeah.
But
I thought you were talking about my son.
Well, I can yell at him too.
You can yell at him anytime you want.
Yes, I do.
I give you full permission.
I don't use that kind of language, Chance. No, but the accountability piece is there. I think what you're looking at in that kind of that 3-pronged look at consistency is the maturation and the reps, the repetition aren't there yet, and it's because we have older players, but we have. There's only a handful of kids that have a whole bunch of varsity snaps. And some of them that have a lot of varsity snaps are still young. Gage, we're working on Gage's, I think, 10th or 11th varsity game.
I think we're 11.
Okay, he's halfway, or he's not even halfway through his sophomore year yet. So he's still young, and he's still learning. He just got thrust into a role way earlier than I think anybody expected. But he's earned it. It's not It's not that he isn't capable. It's just he's young, and that's the way it works. Is when you're a kid, you're a kid. When you're young, you make young mistakes and things like that. And the good thing about Gage is he goes 1,000 miles an hour all the time. So even if it's a mistake, it's covered up by his effort level. And so I think that's kind of where your consistency is that the genuine hope is that you get better every game. The genuine hope is you learn lessons from every game, and as coaches and as players, you take those lessons and you improve on them.
Yeah, and I'm not bashing us. I don't want anyone to hopefully stop listening 5 minutes ago and then be like, oh, Chance is bashing the team. I'm impressed with Bells that they're like, oh, y'all like to throw deep. We're going to take that away, and then we're just going to make you run, and then we're going to stop that too. Or at least you can't keep pace with us. I mean, just the... Bells was impressive.
They make you play football in a phone booth.
Yeah.
And that's not always everybody's strength. And so, it's tough. It sucks. It does suck because as the late, I think it was Ray Rhodes says for the Minnesota Vikings in the late 90s, he said, you are what your record says you are. Well, it's not good for the Bearcats if you subscribe to that. There's some truth to it until you take it upon yourself to change it. And that's on every coach and every player is, are we doing everything that we can do to put ourselves in a position to be successful as a coach and as a player? And, I think everybody's doing a little soul searching as far as that goes. And everybody's looking for confirmation of that. And if you're not getting confirmation of that, I think that you're seeing a thought process in what can we tweak and what can we change to get to where we want to go. So, there's, like I said, there's a little coach speaking there, and there's also there's a lot of truth in it. Is nobody's where we want to be, and that's the truth of it. Nobody accepts the result.
Well, thank goodness.
I mean, you have to accept it in the sense that it happened and things have to change from it. You can't just not accept it and say, we're going to block that out like it never happened or that it's not real. But you don't have to accept it as in like, I'm okay with this. I'm fine with losing. We're 1-3. That's okay. It's not okay. And so that's kind of where we are is what do we need to do to not be 0-1 at the start of the second season?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know if I addressed any of what you asked or said or not.
I don't know that I asked anything. It was more of a monologue.
It was a monologue.
It was really a monologue on how good Bells is.
Kind of, coupled with that we need to improve.
Yeah. But like I said, on the positive side, Gage found something, and thank goodness he did.
I mean, he found something, yes, but I don't think that you can do anything besides pat him on the back for running hard. He had 31 carries for 109 yards or something like that.
Yeah, but
that's a pedestrian average.
Yeah. 31 carries.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, I could bash my head into this brick enough times that eventually the brick will break, and I really didn't accomplish anything except hurt my own head because I did it that many times.
But where I'm coming from, what if we didn't get that effort out of him? Then what are we looking at?
It would have been a long night for the Cats. And if you go back and you look at the game and you look at the way we started, the first 4 drives, it was a slugfest. And then the gap just widened in a hurry. And then we didn't have the best start to the game either.
No.
Down a possession off the opening kick is
8 seconds or so into the game.
It's not the way you want to start it.
Not only that, down a possession inside the 10.
No, and at some point, and we had this conversation last year about Gage. At some point, you have to understand when it's time to go down. And I think Aston. I mean, of course, he wants to make a play, and I'm glad that he wants to make a play. Just like I love that Gage always wants to make a play. But at some point, you have to realize that whenever you're hemmed in by 5 dudes, it's time to to just squeeze that ball and hit the deck and live to play another day.
Yeah, because possessions were so important in that game, as we all knew, and then we give away one of our possessions.
But here's the thing about possessions is you can make this weird habit of counting possessions. Oh, we're only going to get X amount of possessions, so their offense shouldn't change our approach.
It seemed to.
Because your approach needs to be, I'm trying to score every possession. And points is more important than time. And this is going to be our age-old disagreement that we get into, but you can win time of possession and lose the game. You can lose time of possession and win the game.
You can win everything and lose the game. See Brock Gunner.
Yeah, and that's the thing is there's really only one thing that matters at the end of the game. That's points.
Yeah.
And I don't think that you can look at their offense and say, oh man, we have to change what we do. We can't just give them the ball back. Shouldn't that be your thought process every time? No matter what, if you're playing high-flying Mike Leach, who's going to, or we can use Ponder, for example, who's going to run at a breakneck pace. We are who we are. Our identity is what our identity is, and the other team's offensive scheme shouldn't change our offensive scheme.
But I feel like, and maybe this is your chance to tell me I'm crazy, I feel like that's exactly what we did. Am I wrong? Did we not do what you're saying we shouldn't do? Because it seemed that we were not as high-paced as we have been the 3 weeks prior.
There was no official discussion of it.
No, but it seemed slower.
In the moment, I didn't feel like it.
But maybe it's because we ran 31 times is why it seemed slower and more clock management.
But, that's the thing is your concern needs to be points, not possessions, not time of possession. You should just be doing what's effective for you. What's effective for your offense to put points on the board. That's how, realistically, Ponder versus Bells and not the Ponder Lions. I'm not talking about them as a team. It's a fast-paced air raid type scheme that's pedal to the metal. You can say Old Bells under Scott Ponder before Del West. Old Bells versus New Bells would be an interesting matchup because one of them is high-flying, high-paced, throw the ball all around, put up as many points as possible. They had back-to-back games of over 80 points, I do believe, a few years ago against Del West scheme had no problem putting up points, but it's a different scheme. The biggest thing that you can do to the slot T, which is what the scheme is called, is get ahead.
Yes, time's not their friend.
Or throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Not that they can't do it. I just don't think they devote a whole lot of practice time to it.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing you can do is get as big of a lead possible as early as possible and make them get behind the 8 ball of points fast.
Back to when we beat Wall. That's exactly what happened.
And so if you get up on them 14-0, it's not out of reach yet. I mean, that's just a 2-score game. They can claw their way back in. But, man, you get to where you're up 3 scores, and now their thought process has to change. A 12-play, 80-yard drive no longer benefits them. I mean, it benefits them if it ends in points because you're closing the gap, but the time taken to do it, like the first drive by Callisburg, they took up half the third quarter. Fantastic. You're down by 19 points or whatever it was. You almost hurt yourself. We just never had the opportunity to get on that side of the scoreboard.
That's a sign of a good team to me, though. Back to, wow, keep patting Bells on the back. When I make you change your game plan, I'm doing all right.
Yeah. Well, what else do you have for me? You like to kick a man while he's down, so hit me again.
I'm down with you. I think I'm more upset than you are. Okay. Now, I know I asked some dumb questions and then give you a hard time, and so you're going to tell me how dumb I am.
Or is this where I tell you that you're not a coach?
Yes, but
okay.
I'm almost on your side on this. I know I'm not a coach, and this might shock you. I'm also not a military genius.
Okay.
But here's my analogy. Okay, if we were going to go back and we were going to fight in, let's say, the Civil War, we can't go back to the Civil War with current military tactics that work when we're going to be playing on the game field of 1862 with the weapons and the soldiers that are on hand.
So when we don't have drones available, you can't fight with drones.
Correct. Or I would say even the military tactics used today that factor in the weapons that we have can't be used against a musket.
Right.
Which we're, well, a little bit. But anyway.
I understand.
You understand where I'm coming from. So then you're thinking, what does this have to do with football? But you coaches love to talk about football and war, so I'm trying to combine them.
I'm trying to follow you hard.
All right. So here we go. It's been said many times that the slot T is an antiquated 1950s-ish offense. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, I mean, those principles of what it does is not what you would say is modern as far as throw it all over the place football.
Okay. And again, I want to preface, I'm not real solid in this opinion, but it being the voice of the people, I know it's being discussed this week. We have a cutting edge in the infant stages of a defense that's designed to stop the spread and passing and force people outside, and all of that makes sense to me. In the podcast, I'm as excited about it as anybody. But when you play a defense, back to my war analogy, that's basically from the 50s, should we have run a defense that was designed, not a 50s defense, but something that was designed in that era that knew more about it than trying to run our defense that's designed more to stop a spread?
I'm trying to...
And I'm trying to even figure out how I'm asking.
No,
I know what I want to ask.
Saying. I think what you're saying is our overall defensive scheme
looked the same to me against an offense that's out of the 50s.
And so the question would be, why didn't we change it up? Or is that what you're trying to, or what's the thought process?
I'm not complaining. That's the thing. I don't even know what I'm asking. Tell me why it didn't look like a 50s.
So
what's the answer?
Here,
because they did score on every drive except the one they didn't want to score on, which was the last one.
Yes.
So it's fair to ask about the defense. And people point to, when you have a new coordinator and a new defense that hasn't been run here, it's natural that everyone wants to say, oh, well, that's the problem.
I mean, I think the right decision was made not to mutate our defense to fit something for 1 week. Our kids are just starting to get comfortable in a new defense.
Correct, and it doesn't matter for the playoffs.
And so I think that you run the risk of, if we rolled the dice and changed everything up to try to win the Bells game to defeat the slot T, you run the risk of unraveling the techniques and the things that we've made.
That makes sense to me.
And so...
but that's a benefit of the people that run the slot T. That's
what
everyone, the coaches say. Well, we don't ever see it. We can't prepare for it. We can't mimic it.
No, you can't, and that's a big deal with it. But I think that, no, you can't just try to morph your defense to be the defense of the week that fits, this one game, and then all of a sudden we get back to Saturday and, hey, everything that you just learned for this past week to beat Bells, forget it.
Because kids don't work that way?
No.
Okay, but let me have a follow-up.
Okay.
What happens in Game 11 if the winner of District 3 runs the slot T? Then what do you do?
You make more of an effort.
Because it's the playoffs?
Because it's the playoffs. And now it's not about building better. It's about winning now. But I think what you have is we have a lesson learned for, hey, this is things that we need to do different going forward if we have to face a slot T team. So we're going to make this adjustment. And so then, instead of it turning into something, a transformation, it's just tweaks. Hey, you're going to move 2 steps up this time. Hey, you're going to move to this. You're going to move, and so then it's a game plan instead of a wholesale change. But your hope is that by week 11 you have 10 games of knowledge with your defenders that they're able to handle it. I think that answers your question.
I'm not certain because I don't even know what my question was. It's
Okay.
just more of me trying to describe a observation.
Yeah, no, and you just can't. You don't sell the farm to beat bells.
No, and that does make sense. And I didn't think about it, but you're right. You can't. They're learning this new defense, and we're in week 4. How can I expect you guys to teach an entirely new defense on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to be ready for Friday on a team that was as dominant as Bells was anyway?
Not only that, they've been in the slot T now 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
With a coach that has been doing it since he was in high school.
This did make me think of another question.
Okay,
Told you it was
great.
one, now I have another one.
Yeah.
And I referenced it earlier, and I don't want to understand you can't fully answer it because I know Whitesboro actually does listen to the cast. What's up, Coach Fagan? How did they eliminate our deep passing game?
If you look at their game film, that's a hallmark of what they do defensively. They play everybody in a way that everything's going to stay in front of them. And that's just what they do. That's part of their personality. Is they're, instead of giving up a big play and hey, we're down 6 points, they want to force your hand and force you into having to work the ball down the field.
Well, that makes sense.
And it's because of exactly what you said. A good team forces you to change. They want to take away the quick strike, make you work down the field. Okay. The more times that a team snaps the ball, the more opportunities they have to mess up.
Yeah.
And that's true for them as well. But their scheme is a little bit safer when it comes to that.
Yeah, I mean, they dropped the ball.
3 times.
Yeah. But and I can see what you're saying. The 34-yard pass we had that Jesse caught, that was all Jesse. That Jesse was covered.
Yeah.
And that kid did a good job, and Jesse made that catch happen. So that I get that.
Yeah, no,
I can see
and you know, it's just like I said, every coach has a part of their, I guess, personality or whatever that they're gonna rest on something. So if you're Coach West offensively, he's gonna run the ball. Some people are balanced. Some people want to, the Ponder coach, he wants to throw the ball over the place and be high-powered. Defensive coaches have the same thing of, we're going to be real conservative and sit back and play over the top and keep everything in front of us and tackle. We're going to be real aggressive and try to force tackles for losses. There's multiple personalities to it, and theirs is just to be mostly conservative and play good, solid defense and not give up huge plays.
Makes sense. Well, let's put Bells away.
Okay.
Although when they play Gunner, I might bring it up in a cast.
That's okay.
And let's take a break, and then we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about next week.
Okay.
Are you looking to build that dream home or barn-dough? CS Designs offers a complete range of design services. CS Designs products range from general drawing services to commercial and residential blueprints, as well as 3D renderings and virtual reality walkthroughs. Let Cole Stewart and the CS Design team design you a beautiful progressive home or building that translates your ideas into an outstanding reality. Visit their website at csdesignstx.com or give them a call at 940-365-4048.
Big thank you to CS Designs for sponsoring the postgame show. Stats-wise, what you got?
We kind of covered it, really. I mean, I was really impressed with Gage being able to carry the ball 31 times. I got busy with the real job today, but I don't remember the last time we've had someone carry the ball 31 times. It's been a while. I don't know that Ish ever carried the ball 31 times.
I want to think Bushland, but he was breaking off so many long runs.
Yeah.
That I don't think he did.
Yeah. And then Colin Lynch. I'm watching Travis make faces. I'm trying to stop from sneezing.
I'm trying to not sneeze into the mic.
Yeah, Colin had a big game.
Yeah, and he scored a touchdown on offense, and then I think he had 16 tackles.
Yes.
On defense. That's 2 games now where he's been over 15 tackles, which he does a good job. He runs hard to the football, and he does a good job when he gets there. So we're real proud of Colin.
Yeah.
Receiving wise, I think Jesse's probably your yardage leader.
No, it was Crew.
He had multiple catches on the sideline.
44, I believe, and then Wyatt had 109.
Yes.
Which I know Wyatt would not want us to be building up 109-yard passing.
The leader's
game.
the leader.
Yeah.
So he did lead us in passing.
That's true.
And the good thing, if you have to look at good things, which you need to, there has to be a positive to come out of a game. For the most part, we're taking care of the ball.
Yeah.
Turnovers, it's not that we are. You look at some of these stat lines from college games and NFL games, and people are throwing 4 interceptions, 5 interceptions. That's not plaguing us.
No.
We do have turnovers, but it's not an epidemic.
The only thing that continues to rear its ugly head, and that goes with the opening kickoff and then some punts, is special teams just keeps showing up in the wrong side of the ledger.
And that's being addressed.
Yeah.
I think you'll start seeing some different things, different personnel, and stuff like that. Because it is a third of the game. It's not a third of the plays. It's not going to account for a third of the snaps, but it's important because it can swing a game one way or the other pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And
I said on the webcast that I heard someone tell me about bass guitar one time, that the best bass guitar is the one you don't notice. And I think that's kind of like special teams. If you don't notice them and you aren't talking about them, then they're usually doing a good job.
Yeah, and unless it's they score a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's when you like for it to be brought up. Other than that, no special teams talk is good. And missed tackles. I think that's something that we don't have. I can only remember one score that Bells had, and it was their second score, the long run on their second drive, I do believe. They were going right to left. It was the 61-yarder.
Yeah.
He was untouched. Other than that, we had opportunities to make tackles on every other touchdown, and we didn't.
Yeah.
And so I think that's something that we've seen a renewed focus on that, and it's something just as coaches it's bothersome because your kids are working to get there. Now, just make it happen.
Well, I last time I'm gonna say it. They were a really, really good team, and I was impressed. I can't imagine what a team would be like that's actually beat them. So who we playing next week?
Whitesboro.
Oh, really?
Who has beaten them, albeit on one of the last plays of the game. But now Whitesboro, they're good. I mean, they are loaded with talent.
16 seniors, I think.
Yeah, I was about to say they're senior heavy. They have a lot of seniors. They have a lot of battle-tested seniors. They're gonna present challenges, and there's no doubt about it. And the first big challenge is figuring out how to slow down Mac Harper in that offense. He's good. He can run. He can throw. They've got capable receivers. They have a capable running back that's back from injury now. Their scheme is, I don't want to call it basic because it's not basic at all. I don't know what adjective that I'd describe it other than effective.
They kind of made a pivot this week and went to a rushing team.
They do a good job of exploiting you formationally, and they do things that are complementary, with screens and then a screen and go. And, there's just some smoke and mirrors that I don't even know if I'd call them smoke and mirrors. I think it's just good football. They keep guessing. You can't sell out to this because you're worried about that, which is good football.
Yeah.
A lot of respect for that staff over there. It's good staff. There's some guys that have been there for a long, long time, and they do a good job. And then, Coach Fagan, he hadn't been there a long, long time, but he's done a really good job of assembling a program there. And then the offensive coordinator that he brought in last year, you can see that they're kind of taking on the personality a little bit of him as a play caller, playing with a lot of confidence. They're going to be a tough matchup. So they'll be at home, 7:30 Friday night. No, it's away.
Home
I'm
is in
sorry.
Whitesboro's home.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was already thinking Thursday night because that's what I was going to go with next. It'll be away at Whitesboro on Friday night.
Yeah.
Home junior high JV games on Thursday.
Okay.
So we'll see. See what the Battle of the Cats.
Yeah.
It's a double overtime thriller. A year ago.
I'll take that this time.
If as long as we end up on the right side of the win column, I'm fine with whatever.
Yeah.
No such thing as an ugly win.
True that.
But other than that, I just wish it would all gel together. It's coaching a football team's like doing a 1,000-piece puzzle, and you sit there and you work and you work and you work, and sometimes two pieces match up pretty quickly and you make the puzzle and you make some progress, and sometimes you look at it and you stare at it and you can't seem to figure out exactly why the pieces don't fit. And the pieces, we're working hard to get them together. The kids are working hard, the coaches are working hard. It just needs to happen.
Well, you kind of undermined your coaching cred, and when you tell me I've never coached, because I don't mean to attack your resume, but I think I could sit in a booth and tell people who made a tackle. So maybe I need to apply at Bell's for the tackle spotter.
As long as you have your readers, you'd be fine.
Exactly. I might need binoculars for that.
But no, and I tell you what, we keep revisiting Bell's, but it is the Bell's post-game show. Coach West, fantastic coach, a good man, and I wish him nothing but success going forward. It was an enjoyable year to coach under him, and I learned a lot from him. So
I got nothing else. We'll have
sure?
a webcast.
You're not going to kick me down?
Depending on Dig's show and how many of y'all tell your friends about this one, we're going to top 100,000 views on our YouTube channel this week. I'm checking right now, just to be safe. And I can't find it, because it's telling me it can't be authenticated. So, never mind.
Hold on. Stay with us. Maybe.
That's due to a...
We're at 99,702 views.
There we go.
So we're almost to 100,000.
Yeah, we're going to drop this cast in Diggs today. So, come on, everybody.
And again, we'd like to thank our sponsors.
Yeah, CS Designs.
And, as far as the whole big picture, CS Designs brings you the post game, but all of those other sponsors, 99,702 wouldn't be possible without them.
No.
Because we are independently funded.
And if you are interested in sponsoring, that's 99,000 people in your market that have viewed.
Yeah. Or out of your market, but they'll know about your market.
That's right. They're interested in this area.
Yeah. No, it's growing like crazy. But again, independently funded. There's no ISD money that runs this operation.
No.
And so we really, really appreciate our sponsors. And go Bearcats.